Speaking of Davis and Casa de Matic, I want to just mention this tweet from yesterday morning. Investing in Rojo in March and April has been about as profitable as going long the S&P 500 in March and April.
Pretty good correlation because everything is dying this morning as well. Not only did Rojo die, but the S&P 500 is dying this morning as well.
So whenever
Arian said Rojo is his guy though, and I believe him. I believe him.
Pete, what was your reaction when you saw the Rojo to the
He's got to be more pissed than I am.
I was so angry because it was a double whammy of getting kicked in the dick, having drafted Ronald Jones on a bunch of teams, and then all of the Leonard Fournette truthers getting like one of the top 2 possible landing spots for Fournette. Just the ultimate suck out there, and then them victory lapping. It was a brutal day.
Okay, this was obvious though, right? Like when everybody jumped on Twitter and took the Fournette got cut victory laps, like this was inevitable. This was going to happen.
It was inevitable he was going to sign. I didn't think it was inevitable he'd go to the Chiefs.
Oh no, just because it was like a karma for all the victory laps that it was.
Yeah, no, it was like Chiefs or Patriots or Washington. But yeah, I didn't see the whole bucket. And they already signed McCoy. They drafted a third round running back.
And they said, by the way, they said they're not cutting McCoy. So these are the Buccaneers' options. They keep 5 running backs, 4 of whom do not play special teams. They cut their 3rd round pick, which is an awful look because he was on the COVID list, right? So it's basically just being like, look, dude, sorry, COVID cut your career short, even though it's not really your fault. Or they can cut their special teams captain, which is Dare, or they just lied about not cutting McCoy. Or I guess they can cut Rojo, which I think would actually be the most hilarious outcome at this point.
We cannot believe Arians. There's no way they can keep McCoy. He has no role on this team. There's no room for McCoy. He's just paying him a little lip service. And once things cool over in 2 or 3 days, they'll kind of show him the door.
I mean, yeah. And then it opens. We already had Fournette being cut. Like this news, like we haven't even been on since Fournette was cut. Like that in itself is like was a huge thing. And it was great because, there were a few like Fournette truthers out there, but the majority of people were against Fournette this season. And so,
see, that's not true. For a guy to have a 3rd round average draft position, you cannot take the position that everyone hated Leonard Fournette. It's just
I'm talking about the experts, though.
Yeah, everyone on DFS Twitter.
No, well, this to Davis's point, this was a dynamic that happened. So Silva was leading the anti-Fournette thing, and we all know Silva casts a long shadow over how people are interpreting players. So Silva was beating it down. The high stakes grinders were drafting Leonard Fournette in the 3rd round, just all summer, like without fail. So like then the DFS guys were like, oh, everyone taking a victory lap. It's like, no, the guys who were putting their money where their mouth is were drafting Leonard Fournette with premium picks. And they were fighting back against everyone victory lapping when no, that's actually where he was going.
So it was Fantasy Mansion was the only expert I saw that was like actively touting Fournette in the 3rd. Other than that,
Brad Evans from fadethenoise.com, also a big Leonard Fournette guy.
Nobody's better at plugging other sites than Davis on this show.
I will say I thought the victory lap was warranted. I thought it was fine. I thought the original Silva Levitan victory lap was fine.
And they deserve they got dunked on, and then they got to deserve to come back and redunk with the landing spot. But this story isn't over yet. It's not.
The thing
over.
is, he's still not going to pay off a 3rd round tag, probably.
Totally.
I got bullied into projecting him way higher than I wanted to by all the angry people on Twitter. I gave him like 50% of the backfield in Tampa Bay, which seems way too high to me, but I'm like too scared to project him lower than that right now.
I will say my original tweet that Davis disagreed with, I think was pretty spot on, that if you were thumping the short Fournette bandwagon, then you basically just wanted him in a logjam in Jacksonville as opposed to cut. because it just opened up the back door for a better situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that he could have seen way more volume if he stayed in Jacksonville. But I guess it just all has to do with if, do we trust Arians that Rojo's still going to start out the season and they're going to work Fournette in, or do they just come right out of the gate and Fournette is the bell cow? That's what I don't know.